Greetings and welcome back to the Pride. My name is Muphasa El Matador. They call me the Curious Cat. My job is pretty simple. I help grow your conviction. Conviction to buy, conviction to sell, conviction to hold. And today we're going to be looking at the beginning of the end. Join me and let's jump into the charts. New to the channel. If you're new to the channel, smash that like and subscribe button because out here in the Pride, we do the simple things consistently. To prove my point, I'm going to do a brief recap of what we talked about last week. First of all, we showed we had the inverse cup and handle on Tesla, and we were trading the handle this week. The handle literally has played to a T. I'm going to show you guys once I pop up my trading view charts. However, when you look at the 5-day on Tesla, you're seeing 7.5% move. We made money trading Tesla. We also pointed out Shopify last week as trading close to support. And Shopify literally blew from where we were sitting at about $41. It hit 39. And if you look at the 5-day here, you'd see that we also made a killing playing options on Shopify, as Shopify did a decent 10% over the last 5-day session. So that's 2 for 2. We also pointed out SOXL trading the semiconductors. If you see NVIDIA's chart, it's out of this world. I think they're up 50% in the last 3 months. It just continues to blow up. So you look at the 5-day chart on SOXL. When we called SOXL out, it was sitting at $14. It hit 19% for the week, and we also made a killing, and that's 3 for 3. We also pointed out that with everything going on in the world, gold is definitely an exciting play. We hit the home run on gold, putting our position at a brilliant 128% was what we closed it at. And we called that out as well in the team. And you can see that it did 14%, and that's 4 for 4. We definitely don't win all the time because we also called out FRC. This was in anticipation that once the banks were bailed out, that, FRC was going to go to the moon and fly and blow up, and that didn't happen. So when you look at FRC, this was a high risk trade, high risk, high reward. So we actually sized appropriately for FRC. And so when it wasn't going our way, we made money on puts, but we did call this one to be going up, and it definitely didn't do that. With that said, you can see the VIX is up 10.96%. When the VIX is over 10%, it has an 85% chance of an up day in the market over the next 2 sessions. And I do 2551 divided by 16 to figure out what kind of move that is. And that gives you about 1.59% move on the S&P. Monday or Tuesday. And I'm expecting that to come on Monday, and I'll show you guys that why in the economic calendar. So that's the VIX. That is my first idea of what's going to happen in the market. So I look at the calendar, Monday, March 21st, absolutely nothing. Interesting day for the S&P to blow up. Tuesday, existing home sales. I don't expect that to push the markets much, but oh my goodness, everyone and their mom is going to be looking at Wednesday. Fed interest rate decision comes out at 2 p.m. What happens is that comes out and the market reacts to that. The market is the anticipation earlier and what we currently have today are completely different. You can see a lot of money jumping into tech. The NASDAQ is blowing up because the money printing from saving the banks has a lot of people anticipating Fed to cut their rate raising campaign or pause or something of that nature. So they're going into high risk assets, the market is forward looking. So they're already getting in position for that to happen. So the rate comes out, and if it meets their expectations, they have a particular reaction. And then Powell comes out and opens his mouth. And I'm telling you, it's like no one man should have all that power. There will be a reaction to Powell. And what I've noticed from trading the markets for a long time is after Powell's speech, the next day, it's like the market assimilates all the info and then they truly make a move. So on Thursday, you're going to be seeing violent moves. I'm expecting the market crash to start next week. I could be wrong on that, but I will be playing it day to day. Until this happens, Thursday we will know for sure if the world is coming to an end. Cool. We have jobless claims coming out. This usually moves the markets, but everything will be centered around Wednesday, and on Friday, not so much. So the VIX is saying that we're going to have a big day, right, on Monday. And there are other things that are expecting me to believe that this is time for you to take profit, lock in profits, and start positioning yourself with hedges. Again, this is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing and what my team are looking at. So we're looking at the big update on Monday. And then once Powell starts to speak, we're expecting the market to go into the Mariana Trench from there. Okay, cool. So that's that. I like to show the fear and greed index so you see what market sentiment is. Nobody goes surfing without checking the weather. And right now, the weather is looking pretty cloudy out there. And this, if you follow Warren Buffett, he says when everyone is greedy, you should be fearful. When everyone is fearful, you should be greedy. Don't quote me on that. I think that's so. I'm getting greedy, but I'm going to be trading the fear all the way. So that's that. Last week we were at fear. Now we're at extreme fear. We'll see what the week holds for us. But I remember very clearly in our last video saying that we're not going to have the market crash just yet. Last week was a bullish week. This week we are anticipating the beginning of the end, and we could be wrong. So I like to jump in the news, right? I do the commodities because commodities have a big bearing on most of our trading. Oil prices are sinking as the bulls are unconvinced about the liquidity situation. That's one reason for the world to end. Gold prices are near an 11-month high, and you have to think about it. Why is gold going up? And I think it's because people are hedging and buying security, and not just gold. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is trading at 28K, 27 and some change right now, and these are signs that something is coming, and it's not a beautiful something. All right, and then I'm gonna just look at breaking news in the stock market to see if there's anything we should be looking at. I'm releasing this video pretty late because I like to see the futures trading and using that as a gauge for what is coming in the market. And right now, everything is just macro. There's nothing really specific. There's no specific company news. Most of the earnings are all gone. So that's pretty much it. UBS swallowed up Credit Suisse for a brilliant discount. I think as of Friday, Credit Suisse was trading at the value of about 8 billion market cap, and they were able to pick it up for just over 2 billion. And that's a super steal. And when you see things like this, you realize that a lot is not all good in the world. There was also a bunch of banks coming together to donate money for FRC. And these are really odd things that are happening right now. Plus, the Fed actually printed about 300 billion into their balance sheet, and you can't be printing money and raising rates at the same time. So it's pretty confusing, and I expect people to take a back seat to see how it all plays out. Right. So you can see S&P cuts First Republic deeper into junk, says 30 billion infusion may not solve problems. And these are very important issues because we're seeing bank after bank go down, and that is not sustainable in any way. Right. So that's pretty much all I see. Berkshire Hathaway speeds up stock buybacks. It's an interesting move at this particular point in time. And that's really it. I don't really see anything else that is exciting on that front. So I think it's time for us to jump into the charts, right? Oh yeah, but before I do that, just want to show you guys. So I have a small portfolio on Instagram that I started with $200, and I have been trading this portfolio for almost 2 years now, from $200 to where we're currently at, and it's completely public. The idea is to show people that small money grows. I went from $200 to about 4,000 and some change, and my goal is to hit 100K and then continue going from that. But I just want to show you guys our home run. So this is what we do in the Pride. We do the simple things consistently. We pointed out that gold, we do the fundamentals and the technicals, right? So we came out and explained our position for gold. We pointed that out in the group. Monday, March 6th, we saw that there was a great opportunity. I jumped in. So if you want to see all of my alerts, all you have to do is come join us. We point out when we get in, we point out our price targets, our profit targets. We continue to talk about what's happening and share a great community. And once that is news comes out, we point that out as well firsthand. And we definitely form a plan and we literally trade the plan. And I don't think there's anything better than executing a plan and seeing it come to fruition. And you can see we hit the 100%. I sold that at 128. And yeah, so with that said, let's jump into the charts. That my page is Simbastrial on Instagram, and you can definitely check me out. Like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram so you can see how the journey unfolds. And with that said, I would like to jump into the charts. Today, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking about a dividend paying stock, Zim. I'm going to be talking about Tesla's inverted cup and handle. And last week we did about 30%, which is pretty decent. And we're beating the S&P 500 right now. All right, so into Bitcoin. This is a really big deal, right? So forgive how clunky my chart is. These are my Fibonacci levels. You can see Bitcoin hit the Fibonacci level right here, and it serves as resistance. So even though it looks like chaos, there's a lot of valuable information for me as I trade, when to get in, when to get out, take profit, all of that jazz. Right. So the big thing that you guys need to see on this chart is look at the movement going up. It's really easy to see, right? These are serving as resistance levels. They hit that resistance level, which happened to be where my Fibonacci was, and Bitcoin starts to retreat. I expect it to try to hit it again during the session. And then from there, I'm expecting Bitcoin to roll over and start to fall off. Reason being, we have a quadruple divergence. You can see my RSI at this level. Bitcoin was sitting at 21K. We were at oversold. RSI levels were up in the high 80s. Bitcoin continues to push higher and the RSI continues to trend lower. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. That's a quadruple bearish divergence because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches going up and the RSI is heading in the opposite direction. This is a bearish divergence. It's the most bearish signal in technical trading. We have that on Bitcoin at these levels. So I tell my team that I'm going to be closing out my Mara calls Monday or Tuesday and getting into puts because I trade Mara in the market and I definitely hold Bitcoin long term. So that's the first thing. This is pointing towards bearish move to the downside. And I believe that the big catalyst will be the Fed's decision on Wednesday. So that's the first thing I wanted to point out. The second thing is we were trading Tesla on the inverted cup and handle. Last week we had the cup and I said we were going to see the handle form. And lo and behold, you would see the cup right there. And now we have a handle right here. It's a lot clearer in the 30-minute chart. You can see how this has played out. I do need to draw those lines again because I drew this long before the handle came through. So the handle did change. You know, I'm going to move it over here and that looks more like your handle. So you have your inverted cup and handle. You would have to watch last week's video to see how to play this because I did drop some gems. Or you come join us in the pride so you see how we enter. But this is my cup. You can definitely see a little circle. We can see the handle forming. Once this handle formation is complete, you would see a break and a trend to the downside. And that is one thing to be watching if you are trading Tesla. Lastly, I would like to point out Zim. This is a different play for us. So we are long-term investors, and the reason you haven't seen a long-term video in a while is because it's not time for us to be going long on anything, right? The market is expected to see new lows, so buying at this point isn't exactly user-friendly for anyone, right? So Zim has a dividend coming up, and this dividend is going to be paid out Monday the 30th. The ex-dividend date is actually this week, this coming March 20 something. And I can't remember the exact date, but March 23rd, I believe, 24 is the ex-dividend date. And Zim is just completely crushing it. They're paying $6 and some change in dividends. So we are accumulating hundreds to thousands of shares of Zim so we can take advantage of that dividend play. But if you are buying Zim, it's important to note that that dividend will reduce the price of Zim once it's ex-dividend, because they are paying out from the value of the company and people will be taking profit. All the people who got in at $19 to accumulate for the dividend payout, once that dividend goes into effect, they will be taking profit. And I do expect us to come back and hit 22 and probably even trade down to 20. So this is a great opportunity to buy puts on Zim and ride that wave going down, make money on the dividends, make money on your puts going down. And if you got in at 19, you can lock in profit. And that is essentially the way we're going to be playing Zim. And with that said, it's important to also point out SOXL. This is for semiconductors. You can see AMD and Zim and all the semiconductors have been blowing up. We traded semiconductors from 14 all the way to 16, making money going up, making money coming down. And now I see that we are at the critical point where we might start to break down and come back to test this trend line. I'd see us hitting $15 at some point in the week. But it is important to note that the underlying stocks like Nvidia, AMD are really, really overbought, but they can stay that way for a hot minute. SOXL is trading in a bear flag. So once we break the flag and go down, I expect a lot of pain to come into the market. Finally, I'm going to end the video showing you guys the VIX. I always pointed out, once the VIX crosses over the 50 moving average, the 50 is my golden moving average right there, that you expect to see a lot of violent things in the market. And as you can see, immediately we crossed over the 50, big swings in the market. The volatility has been all over the place. I don't expect that to change until the madness unfolds. So with that said, this is why we in the team are expecting a lot of madness coming into next week. We're expecting the beginning of the end, or should I say the beginning of the last leg down for this correction, at which point things could turn really bullish. But for now, it's important to know that we're not exactly in a safe space, but a lot of opportunities will come out here. Last thing I want to point out is once the VIX goes above 30, I do suggest you look into long positions. Again, this is not financial advice. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe and come join us in the team. The top 5 stocks in